What's up YouTube? AdamDeFresh here. In this video, we are going to be lifting the front of the Caprice. I got the parts from a website called universalcarlifts.com. Very inexpensive. I've ordered from them before. They always have good stuff, quality stuff. So let's get to it. Alright, so I'm out here, driveway, by myself. Last night, I know I said I'd video the entire thing, but last night, a good tip for car people, if you're taking apart something that you haven't ever taken apart, usually I almost just pointed to the Caprice that I sold. Usually when you're working on something really old, like I always am, an old Chevy Caprice or an old Blazer, something old, the bolts could be, seized up, locked up. So what I always like to do is prep for the job and spray things down with a little WD-40. And I'll show you what I'm talking about now. I took a clip last night. I took the wheels off and sprayed down all the nuts and bolts that were going to be taken off, so that things would come loose today nice and easy. So here's what we're starting with this morning. We got it up on jack stands, the wheels off, 5 lugs, so I don't really need to show you how to take wheels off. So with the spindle, we got 2 bolts here, 1, 2, that I greased up last night, and then took off the brake line from here last night and the ABS sensor that usually hangs down here. We got that stuff off on both sides. And then the top of the strut tower, we're going to be taking this stuff out. A big tip for people who, if you're going to be taking your struts out, and taking the spring off of the strut, this bolt right here, I always recommend loosening that up. Not off, don't take it off, but just loosen it before you jack the car up. The pressure on the springs, take some pressure off to crack that loose, get some threads, up so it comes apart easy when the strut's out. You got 3 bolts. 1, 2, 3. 3 bolts on top, and then the 2 bolts right there on the spindle. 1, 2. I already spun those off last night so I could shoot grease inside there, because that's always a problem trying to get those out. And then the strut comes out. So yeah, we're going to now take a hammer to these and try to tap those bolts out. These are the new struts, 3-inch lift by Universal Car Lifts. So that's where the 2 bolts are that I just showed you. We're going to be dropping it down to this, which will raise the car 3 inches. And then we have to use spring compressors to get the stock spring off of the old spring and put it onto this spring. Keep on doing that. Knock this one out, then we do the other side. Alright, bolts are out. Easy enough, both sides. Now we're going to take these 3 bolts out, and then the strut should just come on out. I've never owned a car with struts, and I gotta be honest, this is so much easier. That's it. What was it, 5 bolts, and the struts are out. Nothing really else going on. You got your axles in there. It's so much easier. Now we got to get the spring compressors on those springs, compress them, take the top bolt off, take the spring off, put it on the new one. We're going to just put the springs and all these guts and stuff onto the new struts, and then bam, throw the new struts in. Alright, so if I'm ever going to say anything important in this video, that's what I'm about to say right now. This is the sketchiest part. I recommend going far away from vehicles and far away from anything alive. Not to sound scary, but spring compressors always bothered me. So basically this is your spring compressor. You got 2, you put 1 on each side, 1 on this side, 1 on the other side. It's very, very important that they are exactly across from each other and you tighten them up evenly. Lay them down, get everything ready so that you can do a quick transfer and get those spring compressors back off because they always sketch me out for some reason. And if you can tell, this is very short on here. So all you're going to want to do to get that going is put a wrench in there, give it a little twist, and she's alive. Ready for the springs. Alright guys, we got the spring compressors on here. See, one's on one side, one's on the other side. But I had to cock them a little bit, which I'm really not excited about, because the threads have to pass this plate here. So you snug them up, make sure your little locks are set. Those are actually really important. They hold the thing onto the spring. And then, oh good, you're not working on a car till you're bleeding. And then you just take your trusty air gun. You go back and forth, nice and slow. Nice and slow. You got to go back and forth, nice and slow. All right, we got it compressed. Just like I expected, I'm super sketched, but you can see the top plate is now loose. So now we're gonna take this top bolt off and swap everything out. All right, got everything off one of them, and this is literally in order. We got the bolt, a washer, the top plate, top rubber still on the spring, the inner protection, the bottom rubber clipped onto that. It all goes on, tightens up, unspring compresses, and ready to go back in the car. All done. Tightened up, springs in, and the spring compressors are off safely. One down, one to go. Guys, old struts, new struts, locked and loaded. I cleaned all the pieces as we took it apart, put it all back together so it looks all nicey nice. So yeah, we're gonna try to slide one of these suckers in now. All right, we're running into a little problem here. As expected, this was going way too smooth. Starting to get the strut in the top. And the new perches are all the way down there, and our spindle's all the way up here, and I can't get this to go down any farther. And that's a cause of the sway bar. So it looks like we're going to have to disconnect the sway bar here, because that's what's holding everything up. We disconnect the sway bar, we should be able to swing this down farther to get this bolted up. Hopefully it comes loose and comes out, because this would be the first suspension job I've ever done where the sway bars stay in. Alright, so just as suspected, like I said, none of my cars ever had sway bars in them. I went to loosen it up, blurry, and it just snapped. It's a thin, sway bars are stupid. They have a thin little bolt in them. I put the wrench on it, I barely pushed, and it just snapped. So at least now we got the room to push this down. I'm going to get it all in, and then I'm going to look into actually getting new sway bar things for it. All right, bolted, new lift strut. I would say, especially because these have been tweaked, if you're doing these, drive it around for a couple days, pop the wheel off and retorque these, tighten them back up, make sure they're tight, because this is gapped out pretty far the way they come, because this is a universal fit, supposed to fit a bunch of different cars. So as I tightened it, it squeezed onto the spindle. So I would say come back in here in a couple days, maybe even twice. I might do it 2 times and retighten them, torque them up. So yeah, we're gonna pop the other one in the other side. We're all tight up here, and throw the wheels on. Not the big wheels, they didn't come in yet, just the 20s back on. Those little guys right there, the little fellas. ABS sensor. Go on, thank you. And brakes, it's kind of important. Pop that back on. I took this off to get some more slack on this because we're going up. But if anybody from Universal Car Lifts is watching, kudos, because this was easy. This is easy stuff right here. Super easy. Direct, they say direct fit, and I would say definitely direct fit. I think it's been about 2 hours. Good stuff, Universal Car Lifts. Alright, YouTube. Pretty easy, to be honest. Compared to some of the things I've done in the past where I need torches. If you saw my plan video, I was talking about torches, welders, things like that. I barely use the air tools. Front wheels are on. Tomorrow I'm going to probably do the back. And then it's just a waiting game, waiting for the wheels. But I'll show you how it looks now with the front up. Here she is. 20s. And it's definitely sitting higher. These are only 20s. Once we go up to 24s, the car's going to go up 5-6 inches. It doesn't sound like, you know, a lot, but it is. It's going to be a lot, a big difference. A lot of people would say cars like this can have 24s. If you use rubber band tires, you can run 24s on a car without lifting it. And you can, but you're going to have to rig some things. This plate right here was 3 inches lower before. It was right here, literally maybe a 1/4 inch away from the tire. So if we went with a bigger rim, do the math, you're not going to have the clearance between this plate and the tire. Now I see a lot of people online on YouTube putting a jack in between the spindle and this plate and bending this plate up, and you can bend the plate back and then give yourself room for tires. But I don't know, I feel like doing things the correct way, even though you can do it like that. Now I have plenty of room here. I could probably put 26s on this thing. So I don't know, I feel like this is much better. Now I got plenty of room here, nothing's bent, everything is good and clean and, you know, tight. Good to go. I gotta get a better block. That's pathetic. Super hyped. Got the front done. That was supposed to be the hard part. And we're gonna do the back tomorrow. And then pester the rim guy until the rims are in. Since you guys, I'm getting a lot of positive feedback on these car videos. Some things to come. I got headrest monitors coming. I'll show you how I install those. Super easy. They just drop in, wire them up. So thanks for watching. I hope it helped. If you're doing something like this, or you're just interested or want to know how, universalcarlifts.com. The kit was pretty cheap. It went in pretty smooth. And yeah, thanks for watching. AdamDeFresh. Part 2 coming soon. I'm out.